Ladies and gentlemen, the next President of the United States, Mr. John Allen McKay. Well, I'd like to thank you for that kind introduction there, Bill. I promised my friends out there in Facebook land that I'd make a little announcement tonight about my run for the presidency in 2012, and I'm here to let them all know I am throwing my hat into the ring tonight. Now, I know a lot of you people out there are going to go, whoa, what's John know about politics? And nothing. And I'm all prepared for the battles ahead. I see what they did to Sarah Palin and Katie Couric, blindsiding her with all these questions and stuff like that to humiliate her. But I'm prepared for that. I've been getting prepared for this for several weeks. And I've made myself a list of questions, and that I think that they'll probably ask me to try to catch me, you know, and stuff like that, and make me look foolish. So I'm going to be prepared, by golly. They're not going to blindside me. So I've got my little notebook here with some potential questions that they're going to be asking me on my campaign trail, and I'll take them one at a time. They'll probably ask me something like, well, Mr. McKay, you have no experience in economics. Well, what do you know about the economic structure of the country, or as far as that goes, the world, international economics? What do you know? My answer will be absolutely nothing. And evidently nobody else does either, or we wouldn't be so screwed up, would we? And they might ask me something about diplomacy. I don't know any of the world leaders. No, I don't. I don't even know how to spell half their names. That's how much it means to me. But one thing I would do, I would get on national TV and buy some airtime or whatever. Maybe I could get it for free. And I would make a televised announcement to Mr. Ahmadinejad. And I would tell him over the airwaves so the whole world could see me, and he could see me. I would say, Mr. Ahmadinejad, I understand you keep threatening Israel. You're going to push them off into the sea, and then we're next, and you and your Muslim thugs are going to come over here, and you know, you're going to chop our heads off and Sharia law and all that crap. And I would tell him over the airwaves, Mr. Ahmadinejad, if you ever say that again, I'm personally going to jump on Air Force One, come over to Iran, and kick your ass. Okay? Because when you threaten our country, you're threatening me, you're threatening my lovely wife, you're threatening my little cat that I love, you're threatening all my relatives, you're threatening all the people I know in church, you're threatening all my neighbors. You know, you're threatening all the old people who are in wheelchairs and some of the people that are just so, you know, debilitated that they're in hospitals. You're threatening the United States of America, but you're threatening each of us individually, and I won't stand for it. You understand? Or I'll turn your country into glass. Then they might ask me about the minimum wage. John, what do you think is a fair minimum wage? And my answer would be 0. If you don't work, you don't get any money. And those people collecting welfare checks would be required to go out and do some kind of public service. I look at my streets, and you know, all the Burger King wrappers and the beer cans and the pop cans and the junk laying all over the roads. Man, the trees that need trimmed that the electric company never bothers doing, that they don't even do their jobs. There's plenty of work out there for people to do, instead of just getting that welfare check in their mailbox every week and doing whatever I know there's people out there that can't work. I'm not targeting them. I shouldn't use that word target. I'm not referring to them. I'm talking about the people who just know how to milk the system, and they educate each generation on how to stay in the system, in the welfare system. So, yeah, if you want to collect welfare, if you can't go out and get a job in the Private sector? Well, then we have plenty of work for you to do in the government sector, you know? Because the government's giving you the money, we may as well give you the work to do. It's like the extended unemployment benefits. If you're going to extend them, make them work for it. Make them clean the street. Whatever. Then you might ask me about the unemployment problem. How would you solve the unemployment problem? Well, my solution to that is, you know, if all these illegals that are in our country right now, I think there's like 13 million of them, and we can't figure this out. I can't figure out how they got in here in the first place if people were doing their jobs in D.C., but, you know, if they want to become citizens, all right, put them through a boot camp. Teach them all how to use a 50 caliber machine gun, okay? And instead of that stupid wall that they just throw a hook over and climb over, arm the southern border with, I've said this on Facebook before, with 50 caliber machine guns every 100 yards and a barracks to house 20 or 30 troops armed and trained about every 100 yards and point them south. And these illegals would have to go through a stringent boot camp and take allegiance to the United States and then give them their citizenship, okay? Pay them military pay. Bring the guys home from Afghanistan. We're not going to clean that mess up over there. Once we leave, Iraq's going to collapse and Afghanistan's going to collapse. I know that, and you know that. So bring those troops home. Put them in a military arms factory where they manufacture weapons, okay? Arm our borders, east, west, south, Canadian, whatever, with armed soldiers. They're still getting their government paycheck, like they'd be in the army, except they're protecting their own country. You call it isolationism? Great. Who likes us anyway? We're isolated. We're being laughed at. Communist China owns us, man. Communist China owns us, and we lost 58,000 troops in Vietnam fighting the communists. And now we have a president suing Arizona for doing the same exact thing. We lost 58,000 troops in Vietnam for trying to protect their borders. Now, does that make sense to you? Doesn't make sense to me, and I'm a Vietnam vet. Education. I wouldn't worry about it. Gee, where am I going to get all this money for my son's college education? I want him to be an attorney and get into politics and go up the ladder of success. Teach him how to be a farmer. Farmers should be the highest paid people on the planet because they're starving people in our own country. They're starving people all over the world. And it's, you know, it's not their fault. It's like in Sudan where there's drought and the sand is coming in and taking over where the greenery used to be. The desert's taking over their land because of lack of rain. And nobody, you don't hear people talking about that. You don't hear all these so-called world leaders organizing together at the United Nations saying, you know, we got a problem in Sudan. Let's organize all our minds together and feed these poor people and feed these poor, hungry, sick children. You don't hear that. Out of sight, out of mind. All I hear about is garbage. The New World Order. Screw it. George Soros is so old he probably wears Depends, man. You think he's concerned about the New World Order? It's all propaganda to get inside your head. But I would train my children up to be farmers. And farmers should be the highest paid people on the planet. Because they grow food. Without food, you don't live. We take it for granted. Now, go to Burger King, get a couple double cheeseburgers and fries. Where'd that food come from? People don't even know. And people don't even know how to grow a tomato. They think it just appears. High gas prices. Okay. I have a 2002 Jeep Liberty sitting in my driveway. Its speedometer goes up to 120. I've never taken my car out on I-95 and, hey, I'm going to see if I got what I paid for, and tramped her down and see if I can get that one thing to peg 120. If I did, I'd either flip it or I'd get a ticket. So I'll never know if I got what I paid for. So I would tell the car manufacturers, stop putting all this junk in these engines. We don't need 5,000 horsepower, man. Just give us an engine, something that'll turn our wheels, to push us forward. You know, we don't need all this luxury crap. Bring the cost of the cars down to maybe half price. Give us 50 miles to a gallon. I'm lucky. I don't have to put that many miles in my car. I've only got like 23,000 miles in that car, and I bought it 9 years ago. It looks like a brand new car because I work out of my house. I'm fortunate. But that would be one solution. Then they might ask me, hey John, what do you think about abortion? One word, murder. John, or Mr. McKay, I'm sure they wouldn't feel that comfortable calling me John. I wouldn't even fit in with a class of people that I'd be in competition with. But Mr. McKay, what do you think about gay marriages? Again, one word, stupid. And you might ask, what about campaign expenses? Gee, like I think McCain spent $450 million, and Obama spent $650 million. That's $1 million for that campaign in 2008 that they spent, wasted. And right now, our country is worse off, you have to admit it, than we were 2 years ago, because nobody knows what they're doing. So I figured my campaign expenses would be about $1,000. Because this is my man cave. This is my office. This is my recording studio. I have a TV in here. We just got a flat screen, so we brought our other TV in here that I can watch when I'm, it's convenient. I even have a little love seat in here because I like to work during the night. No interruptions. So sometimes I want to take a nap, and I just lay down here and take a nap for a couple hours rather than, bothering my wife. And this would probably be my campaign headquarters. So about $1,000 I would need for the next 2 years, and that would just go for the higher electric bill that I'd be paying on internet, communicating on Facebook and stuff like that. I have, 820 friends. If those 820 friends each have, say, 100 friends, and they would all let this go viral, my goodness, who knows? And the last thing I like to say is, well, not the last thing. I guess JFK, he was a Democrat, but he wasn't a liberal. This liberal nonsense really kicked in the last, I'd say, 30 years. But John F. Kennedy was a Democrat, and his famous quote, "Ask not what you can do for your country, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." My only suggestion to you people would be, ask not what you can do for your country, just remember how your country has screwed you, okay? And like I say, the unemployment problem, there's plenty of jobs. Bring the troops home, put them in military factories, put the illegals in the military factories, building weapons, protect our borders, protect ourselves. Nobody wants us anyway. Everybody's making mockeries of us. So let's isolate the United States of America and just protect our borders. And then if anybody wants to mess with us, they're taking their lives in their own hands, because we're getting threatened anyway by Muslims, head cutter offers, crotch bombers, and like this idiot in Arizona. Okay? That's the kind of people we have to fear. And, well, I have to go. I've run a little late here. Oh my goodness. Oh, my wife's she's gonna kick my butt. But anyway, thank you for listening, and who knows? This is kind of tongue-in-cheek, but who knows? Who knows? Share it with your friends. It just might get them thinking, okay? I'll talk to you later. It's okay to do this, isn't it? It's not insinuating anything, is it? I'll talk to you later.